Good afternoon. My name is Henry Nganga. Henry was born in Nyandarua, central part of Kenya, in a family of 8, and I'm the last born. My mother was a farmer by then, and my father, who happened to be from Maasai community, was an employee in one of the farm at Rift Valley where they used to rear livestock. My father happened to lose his job, so he happened to come back home. And since I was now the only child who was at home, because the one that is in front or ahead of me had already finished the school and had left home, my father was so much depressed, and he was very much distressed. He turned into alcohol, and he started drinking and becoming very wild against me. So it happened that I developed a very low self-esteem. I grew up not knowing what love means because I didn't experience it from my family background. And naturally, I turned into an introverted life. I became an introvert. I didn't become social in any way. I was taken to a local secondary school where I started my secondary education. And that is now where, because now I was mature, I was grown up, and that is where now things started becoming even more difficult. I remember even at one particular point, I was thinking of going to my mother and asking, is this really my father? Because the treatment that I was getting was not so good. And it happened that one particular time, I decided that now I'll just commit suicide and end my life. At that particular time, we used to spray cows with the acaricide that would kill the ticks and the insects. So that particular time, I was the one who had sprayed the cows last. So I knew where we used to put the acaricide. And I decided that I'll go take the acaricide and then write a note and tell my father now, because I think I have been the source of your problem. I've decided to end my life so that you can live at peace. But God works in very mysterious and miraculous way, because when I went to pick the acaricide from where we had kept it, I found that, I don't know, a neighbor had come to borrow for it. So he was given the whole bottle because it was remaining just but a little, and he had not returned it. So the place was empty. I was very bitter and I was very angry. I went to my room and slept, now not knowing what to do next. And I remember when I was sleeping, God started ministering to me and telling me that, showing me about how faithful and how much He loves me. And He started showing me, if I didn't love you, I would have killed you even before you are born. Now you are born, you have grew to this far. Don't you see any positive thing that you can be proud of and make your life like worth living? I woke up and I decided now, since this mission did not succeed, I'll just wait. I finish my secondary school. So toward that years it comes to an end, I decided that now I'll give God a test. If for sure you says you love me, I would like to give my life back unto you, and I would like to be born again. So I used, now I have said that my father was came from a Maasai community, so he had cows and goats. So every Sunday, because right now there was no someone to cater for the cows, I was the one to go and cater for them. So I started reasoning, trying to argue with God and telling him, no, God, even if I want to go to church and give my life to Christ, who will be taking care of my father's cow? And I'm like, but I remember I told my mom at one particular time, I told her, yeah, I would like to go to church and give my life to Christ. And she was like, if you're sure that is what you want to do, on Sunday, I am the one who will be going to take care of the livestock on your behalf so that you can go to church and give your life to Christ. And my mom then came and knocked and asked me, now, I wanted you to come and tell the pastor what you were telling me. And I was like, will those words even be able to proceed out of my mouth? So I just got courage. I don't know where it came from. And I went and I told the pastor, now I wanted to give my life to Christ. And pastor was so happy. He prayed for me. He led me with the confession prayer. Then after that, he told me, now join us next Sunday. So the Sunday came and I went to church for the first time. And it was very hard for me because now you from the past experience I have said that I developed a kind of an introvert kind of a spirit. So whenever I am in a crowded place, I was feeling out of place. And here I have gone to the church with over, let's say, 150 people. I'm supposed to stand and greet the church. And I was feeling like, can't this ground just open up and swallow me? I don't want to stand before these people. Okay, again, I gathered courage, stood before people, greeted them, and told them that I've been born again. When I entered my fourth form, I remember I was also not appointed to be the now out of the school a bit now to the church. I remember now I'm still the coordinating the Christian Union in the church, and I was the chairman of the Christian Union, though by default, because now being the school captain and being born again, I had a tendency that I even today, I hate watching something not going right. To realize that I restrain myself a lot, even to be in a place whereby I see things not being done in the right way because I'll find myself doing it. So when I become now the school captain, I realized that the CU chairman who was there by then was a little bit not very active. And I was feeling that if something need to be done, it has to be done in a perfect way. So I took over the CU. I was not the chairman, but I decided that I will support the chairman. We made it a very vibrant movement in the school. My parents did not take me to church. So I went to church when I was mature and a teenager. So I didn't even know the slightest, even if I was to be told to follow a particular kind of a protocol, I didn't know. So now I have been appointed to be the church chairman, a vice chairman, to lead the youth, and I started. And it went on well because one thing of which I knew was that whenever God give you a task, He follow it back to make sure that it has been fulfilled. I went to a big church that had over 450 youths. And after that, I remember that after I started going there, the third Sunday, it was said that there will be an election for the youth chairman. But I was so sure that I won't even be elected because I won't even be participating because nobody even knew me. So I went there, and when now the person who are conducting the election came and they said they want the names of the people that they will be in the ballot. I heard someone say Henry, and I was like, which Henry? Maybe there's so many other Henrys. So Me, I was just seated and looking to the person who was conducting the election, and he is asking, "Who is this Henry? Who is this Henry?" And I'm just looking at him. And then the person who was just behind me said, "It's this one." And he's like, "And you are just looking at me." Oh, I said, "Sorry." And he's like, "Okay, let us have the names written down." And the names were written down. And after that, when it comes to counting, my name appeared in over 80% of the papers that were counted. And he was like, "Do you want us to continue counting or just give it to him?" And I was like, "No, I don't want it. You just give it to my second other person." And everybody else said, "No, it's you." So I started now from there, and I remember that particular time I went home and I asked God, "God, I ran away from where I came from because of the battles that I had experienced in leadership. And then here I come, and then you give it back to me." So I just told God, then I'll do it. And I did it. And that is now, that was back in 2009. So 2009, I started leading that group of the youth. I led them 2009, 2010, and 2011, when now I met my wife. That is why we met at church. So we quoted on 2011, August, we did our wedding. So from there, I couldn't continue reading the youth, though I had to be there because I was working in the church as a church administrator. So I had to be there. So we got married in 2011, month of August, and in 2012, around the month of February, the church where I was happened to enter into a very big crisis. Where we were, the church was supposed to be vacating and moving. So in the process, so many things, including the structural and management things, got destabilized, and so I couldn't continue to work there. So I was, I lost the job in 2012, and by then I remember we were expecting our firstborn child, and she was born. We named her Joy because she was the beginning of our joy. And after that, now I stayed at home a bit. I started looking for a church, and I went to another church. And after that, after healing, because my heart was wounded in that previous church. So after I got healed, I decided, now let me try serving and establishing a church. So I was invited by a friend of mine, and we started a church together. That was back in 2018. And 2019, the COVID strike. And after that, the churches were closed. And after they were closed, because our church was still young, we couldn't manage to get back to the feet because the members had already left. So we were left. I am personally left with the home fellowship, normally held at my house. And after that, I have not been able to establish a church, but I still have the structure, and I still believe that when the time is right, God says that He will make things happen.